And as Casey's lawyers continue to present their case, here's a look back at the timeline of this tragedy.
There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
It started on July 15, 2008, when Casey Anthony's mother, Cindy, called 911 to report that her granddaughter, Caylee, was missing and had been for a month. The following day, police arrested Casey Anthony on charges of child neglect, making false statements, and obstructing an investigation. And a detective noted that Casey, quote, showed no obvious emotion as to the loss of her child.
Unless we start getting the truth, we're going to announce two possibilities with Caylee. Either you gave Caylee to someone and you don't want anyone to find out because you think you're a bad mom, or something happened to Caylee and Kaylee's buried somewhere or in a trash can somewhere, and you had something to do with it.
Later we learned that Casey had told detectives that little Caylee was with a babysitter, a woman the defense now admits never existed, and that she'd been partying for much of the month her daughter was missing. But in her first phone call from jail, Casey lashed out at her parents.
You don't know what my involvement is and stuff? Casey. Mom. What? No, I don't know what your involvement is, sweetheart. You're not telling me where she's at. Because I don't know where she's at.
In her first court appearance, a judge denied bond, saying Casey Anthony showed a woeful disregard for the welfare of her child. On August 6th, investigators began to remove evidence from the Anthony home. Folks in their neighborhood then held a vigil, praying for the return of little Caylee. And Casey's parents began to speak to the media.
I know that someone has my granddaughter. They do.
The following day, Casey finally allowed her family to visit her in the Orange County Correctional Facility. But there were more denials, and there was more anger.
We need to have something to go on. Mom, I don't have anything. I'm sorry. I've been here a month. I've been here a month today. Do you understand how I feel?
A week later, police released Casey from jail, but she was soon back behind bars. And then the Anthony family reached its boiling point.
Come on, over here. Come on.
In early October, investigators officially named Casey Anthony a suspect in her daughter's disappearance. On the 14th, they charged her with first-degree murder. But because there was no body, the case was largely circumstantial. At the end of that month, prosecutors announced they'd be seeking the death penalty. Documents emerged that someone had used the Anthony's home computer to research neck breaking. And on December the 11th, a meter reader reported he had discovered bones in some woods near the Anthony home.
Dispatch, we found a human skull. Oh my gosh.
Skull of a, if he believes it's human.
6 days before Christmas, authorities made the tragic announcement.
With regret, I'm here to inform you that the skeletal remains found on December 11th are those of the missing toddler, Caylee Anthony.
From the start, the prosecution has relied on a lot of circumstantial evidence and untested science at very best to try to prove the case. The odor in the car, the computer searches for chloroform and neck breaking, the sticker residue very much in question from the crime scene. And now the question, will it be enough for a conviction?